Okay, we're back again. We had a technological difficulty. That's some of the challenges when you just get out of prison. You don't have the best technology, but we're doing the best that we can. In fact, let me spread this screen so that we see Andrew side by side. There we are. Andrew, continue. You had some more questions for me.
Yes. So you mentioned that we need to educate our prisoners so they can be reintroduced back into society. And if so, what kind of specific programs and solutions do we really need?
That is a great question, Andrew. So what we need, truthfully, we already have a lot of what we need, right? We need the basic building blocks of education. What we need to do, though, is recognize that many of the people who get trapped inside of our criminal justice system, they did not grow up like you're growing up, Andrew, with great role models and influences in your life who are impressing upon you the importance of education and developing your mind and schoolwork and taking it seriously.
Yeah.
So because they don't have that background, they don't recognize all of the resources that are around them. So what we need to do is to augment, bring more resources inside that will help people make the connection. Make the connection between their behavior in prison or in a juvenile hall and their prospects for success as they go through the criminal justice system, and more importantly, when they come back to society.
Right.
That's one of the programs that I work really hard to create through episodes like this, podcasts and videos, and then I record them on CDs and I take them into the prisons. So I like to interview formerly incarcerated people who emerge successfully, and then I ask those people to tell their story, and then I use that as a building block so that inside they're not only learning from the teachers and the staff and the psychologists, but they're also learning from people who've gone through it and come back successfully. So I really think that we've got a lot of the resources, but we need to invest in bringing more in. And so that they can make the connections of how important it is to learn how to read and to learn how to write and to learn how to do math and to learn history and to learn how to do the types of projects that you're doing right now.
Right. And before I did this, I've done some research on life inside of a prison cell, how difficult it is for families of the inmates to deal with the sentencing because they can't really see their loved ones that much. So what are your opinions on the immorality of sentencing people to life without parole?
I think that is not a good policy for our nation. Although we can have very long sentences, we should create a mechanism that would allow people to work to reconcile with society, meaning make things right with their victims, with their communities, demonstrate that they want to live as a good citizen. And any individual should have the hope that if they do well, they can come home. And that our system, when we create sentences like death sentences or sentences of life without parole, which is effectively a death sentence because they're going to die in there, we have those types of sentences. We discourage people from working to reconcile with their victims, working to reconcile with the community, and I don't think that serves the interest of our country. So I'm a big believer in changing those policies and creating them with mechanisms that would encourage people to work toward earning freedom.
Right, and also giving them opportunities to be reintroduced back into society.
Yes, and then if to those who have earned their freedom, it's my hope that we continue to accept them into the workforce. If they are to the extent that they're capable, and that could mean, an individual may reach his highest potential as a janitor, and another person may reach his highest potential as a neurosurgeon. An individual, to the extent that he is willing to work hard and demonstrate that he can bring value to society and wants to live in society, I think society benefits when we create those pathways.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
Andrew, I really want to thank you. May I ask you a question before you hang up?
Sure.
So where do you plan to go to college?
I'm completely not sure yet, but I'm thinking about serving and going to a service academy.
Good for you. Good for you. Like the Naval Academy or West Point?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. And do you have any ideas on what you want to do with your future after you college? Or do you
Yes,
want
I want to be a engineer.
an engineer, a
Yeah.
computer engineer, or what type of engineer?
No, an aerospace engineer.
Oh, that is awesome. So a rocket scientist. Andrew, are you using an Apple product?
Uh, for this interview,
Yeah, do you use Apples or do you use PCs?
I use PCs.
Oh, shoot. Do you have an iTunes account?
Yes, I do.
You do. Well, here's my
Yes.
question for you. I
Okay.
need to continue spreading awareness of the Earning Freedom podcast. So it's my
Okay.
hope that you will go to Earning Freedom and you will
Okay.
subscribe to the Earning Freedom podcast. It's free. And
Okay.
when you subscribe, rate and review the show because
Okay.
that's what gets me more distribution.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter what you rate it or what you review it. If you
Mhm.
think it's good, rate it
Yeah.
well. If you don't think it's good, rate it poorly. But do that for us so that we can spread more awareness on
Sure.
what we can do to improve outcomes of the criminal justice system. And I encourage your classmates to do the same. All right?
All right.
Fair enough?
Yep.
All right, young man. Thank you so much for reaching out. And I wish you continuing success on your academic journey. And I thank you for including us in your work.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. I'll
Bye.
send you a link later.